Thank you, everyone. Welcome to the masterclass. We are 3 minutes beyond 5:30. Those 3 minutes for ice breaking, a pause to move from the courage to be disliked to the courage to be happy. Let's find out what true contentment is within your power. We owe it to Ichiro Kishimi and Fumitake Koga. Over 1 million copies sold worldwide. So I'm sure there must be something in this book which we'll start opening. The Courage to Be Happy. Also by Ichiro Kishimi and Fumitake Koga, The Courage to Be Disliked. I'm glad you've read that book and you're very happy. Here is the publisher, Alan Unwin. They do a good job. These are the show notes, you can say, or the copyright and the acknowledgements. Thank you to everyone for making this book. The book has its rights. Please don't take a screenshot. Please never make a PDF of a book. Kindle is the only way you should use because that is legally allowable. And you should not take screenshots of what we do. We provide you a video, which is fair. So you can read it on the video. Don't take screenshots. Though he stands beside Sigmund Freud and Carl Gustav Jung as one of the most important figures in the world of psychology, Alfred Adler was for many years a forgotten giant. Using the traditional format found in Greek philosophy of a dialogue between a young man, today we have a young woman, and a philosopher. This book provides an introduction to Adler's thought, which is said to be 100 years ahead of its time. The characters appearing in the book are a philosopher, yours truly, Sandeep Dutt, engaged in the study of Greek philosophy alongside Adlerian psychology, and the youth. We have Harshita Talawat, who is the youth for this particular book, who is pessimistic about her life. In the previous work, The Courage to Be Disliked, the youth, which was Gurdeep then, I'm sure we have a younger person now, which is even better, questioned the philosopher on the true meaning of his assertion. Based on Adler's ideas that people can change, and not only that, they find happiness. The philosopher offered the following statements in response. There is no such thing as an internal problem. All problems are interpersonal relationship problems. Thank you, Minakshi. I have read this line to you many times, and I'm glad you've started smiling. One must not be afraid of being disliked. Freedom is being disliked by other people. Freedom is being disliked by other people. Only when do you feel disliked do you understand what is like. It's like saying when there is cloud, there has to be sunshine after that. It isn't that you lack competence, you just lack courage. Neither the past nor the future exist. There is only one, here and now, and that's where we are. The youth rebelled against these extreme radical statements again and again. On encountering Adler's idea of community feeling, however, he came to accept the philosopher's words and resolved to change himself. This is the promise I want from everyone present today. Please promise to change yourself. When you change yourself, the world changes. The setting of this volume is 3 years later. The youth has become a teacher with the intention of putting Adler's ideas into practice, calls on the philosopher once more. Adlerian psychology is nothing but a bunch of empty theories. You're trying to tempt and corrupt young people with Adler's ideas. I have got to break away from such dangerous ideas. So says the youth. In what way should we walk the path to happiness revealed in the preceding volume? Is Adler's thought, which sounds like pure idealism, really a practicable philosophy? And what is the biggest choice in life that Adler arrived at? This is the conclusion of the two-part work exploring the essence of Alfred Adler and his psychology of courage. Please ascertain for yourself, together with the youth who doubted and revolted, Adler, and true shape of courage we need. So we will start. We have read the author's note. We have the preamble You can see it has a fair idea of figuring out what a bad person and poor me. That's how we start. You respect the person, you grow up, you have the, and courage is contiguous. So if you have courage, people will follow. You keep saying you can't change, and then you end up changing. There's also a debate on negating the reward and punishment, which is a standard way of working in schools, in a classroom, reward and punishment. So this challenges that hypothesis. Talks about a democratic classroom, and it says that rebuke, don't rebuke, and even do not praise. So it helps you handle problem behavior. It even explains a violent case, why it happened. So you can choose your own life. That's the book keeps saying. It talks of competition to collaboration and cooperation. So your reward is competing with yourself and collaboration with others. That's where you will find happiness. Give and it shall be given unto you. Education is friendship, not work. So these are important chapters which will come along as we go. Why work becomes a life task. So we will try and handle that. How many close friends do you have? We'll check that out. Choose a life of love. That's the fifth part of the book. And this is a very interesting part. I know it's a long way from today. It may end up 3 months later. But I found this as the most powerful part in the book. Let me see if I have a copy of the book, which I want to show you. Yeah. This is the copy of the book I have. So I'm going to put a pause here. I'll stop share and I will show you. It doesn't look like the copy of the book you have. That's okay. Don't worry about it. This is the book which I found when I was traveling in Singapore. I found it in a bookstore. So I just bought it and I read it there. And that's when I decided that when I go back, this is the book we must read. But when I came here, I found Courage to be Disliked. So then I said, this is the book we must read first. And that's how I ended up getting the set of the books. So the true contentment is within your power. That's what the whole book highlights. And that's what we'll try and find out. How true contentment is within your power. Let's move on. We are introducing the book again. Choose a life you love. Love is not something one falls into. From the art of being loved towards the art of loving. That's where the book will take you. People are afraid of loving. It questions that. Then it'll come to re-choose your lifestyle. There is a small introduction. I will read this and then we will introduce the characters to you. It should have been more light-hearted and friendly visit. I hope you will not mind if at some point I visit you here again. Yes, as an irreplaceable friend. And I won't be saying anything more about taking apart your arguments. Indeed, the youth had blurted out such words on his departure that day. Now, however, 3 years had gone by and he had arrived at his man's study with completely different intentions. The youth was trembling with the gravity of what he was about to confess, and he felt at a loss as to where to begin. This is the preamble of the book. The youth here is Harshita.
Mhm.
Why Ishita? Because if I look back 1993, Ishita was one of my first, I hate calling influencer, but first one who got influenced by me. And today she heads Spiti Ecosphere. Some of us met her recently. She came to look us up when we were in Dehradun last month hosting the governing council. So from Ishita to Harshita, that's the journey of the philosopher sitting in front of you. Harshita, the screen is yours for the next 1 minute. Please say what you want to say, introduce yourself, and why you feel you are the youth in the book.
Hello everyone. Like I already know a lot of participants over here in the meeting. Hello everyone. Actually, I haven't read this book yet. I was exposed to The Courage to be Disliked earlier, so this is the first time for me also to read the book with you. And I resonated with the youth 3 years back when I started, reading the book The Courage to be Disliked, because a lot of things were happening in my life, and somehow I was in a headspace where I felt connected with the book. and the whole principle of the book, where, as a younger person in her 20s, feeling connected to what the youth feels in the book, and the way the philosopher entangles, you know, the whole everything that is going on in the head of the youth. So that's how I got connected with the book, and I'm more excited for the book, The Courage to Be Happy, because I think it's a refreshed version of what I read earlier. So,
Thank you. Your alarm
yeah.
rang. I'm glad you stayed within time. I'd put on a timer when I gave you the mic. Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
let's do the preamble. Well, can you tell me what is going on?
You're asking why I have come to visit this study again? Well, unfortunately, I'm not here just to hang out or renew an old friendship. I'm sure you're busy, and my situation too is that I have little time for such things. So naturally, there's a pressing issue that has brought me here again.
Yes, of course. It would seem so.
I have thought things over. I have worried and obsessed over it more all it is necessary and thought it all. In doing so, I arrived at a very serious resolution and decided to come here to convey it to you. I know you have much time to do, so please give me your time for just this one evening because this will probably be my final visit.
What happened?
Haven't you figured it out yet? It's the problem I've been suffering over so long. Do I give up on Adler or not?
Ah, I see.
Okay, I'll get right to the point. Elders' ideas are quackery, utter quackery. Actually, I have to go further and say that they are dangerous and even harmful ideas. While you yourself are certainly free to choose what you wish to adhere to, if possible, I would like to get you to be quiet about it for once and for all. I have resolved to make this my final visit tonight, as I've said, in the knowledge that I had to give up on elders completely, in your presence and with this feeling in my heart.
So, was there some event that triggered this?
I will talk this through calmly and in an orderly fashion. First, do you recall that final day 3 years ago when I last saw you?
Of course I do. It was a winter's day with glistening snow all around you.
Yes, it was. The night sky was a beautiful blue, and there was full moon. Under the influence of Adler's ideas, that day I took a great step forward. I quit my job at the university library and found a teaching position at my old middle school. I thought I would like to put into practice a kind of education that was based on Adler's ideas and bring it to as many children as possible.
Isn't that a wonderful decision?
Sure, I was burning with idealism back then. I simply couldn't keep such wonderful, world changing ideas all to myself. I had to get more people to understand them. But whom? I could arrive only at one conclusion. The adults, who are no longer pure and unsoiled, aren't the ones who need to know about Adler. It's by bringing his thoughts to the children who will build a new generation and his ideas will continue to evolve. That was the mission I had been assigned. The fire inside me was so burning, so bright, I might well have burned myself.
Thank you, my dear Harshita. It seems a little autobiographical, doesn't it? And it's not only for you, it's for everyone. All of us have these moments in life when we need to reflect. And in this world where we are getting burnt every second, sometimes the burns hurt. And you have to pause and cool yourself to heal those burns naturally. So, if you look at the way the courage to be disliked and the courage to be happy are designed, they are designed to soothe your inner self. That is a basic message behind the books, and that's why they are so well read. I see you can speak of this only in the past tense.
That's right, it's totally history now. But please don't misunderstand me. I haven't lost hope in my students, and neither have I lost hope or given up with regard to education itself. It's just that I have lost hope in Adler, which is to say, I have lost hope in you.
Don't students end up saying that to a teacher when they're disappointed, when they don't get a job, when they don't succeed in life? You just tell her, what the hell? What have I learned from this teacher? So that's the kind of feeling Harshita has at the moment. Why is that?
Well, that's something for you to contemplate and ask yourself. Adler's ideas have no use in actual society and are nothing more than abstract, empty theories. Especially that education principle that states one must not praise and must not rebuke. And just so you know, I followed it faithfully. I didn't praise and I didn't rebuke anyone either. I didn't give praise for perfect scores on tests or for a thorough job cleaning up. I didn't rebuke anyone for forgetting to do their homework or for being noisy in class. What do you think happened as a result of this?
You got an unruly class.
Completely. But when I think back on it all now, that was only natural. It was my fault for getting taken in by such cheap quackery.
So, what did you do about it?
Needless to say, for the students who were doing bad things, I chose the path of stern rebuke. I know you're probably going to make light of that and tell me it was a foolish solution. But look, I'm not a person who busies himself with philosophy and gets lost in daydreams. I'm an educator who lives and who handles on the ground situations and looks after students' lives and destinies. Because the reality right in front of us never waits. It's moving constantly from moment to moment. You can't just sit back and do nothing.
How effective is it?
Naturally, if I rebuke them any further, it doesn't do any good because they disparage me now. I'm just a softie to them. Honestly, there are even times when I envy the teachers of ages past, when physical punishment was permitted and even standard.
It's not an easy situation.
True, just so there isn't any misunderstanding, I should add that I'm not letting my emotions take over or getting angry. I'm only rebuking in a rational manner as a last resort of the purposes of education. I guess you could say I'm prescribing an antibiotic medicine called reprimand.
Yeah, reprimand. So, when you
Reprimand.
reprimand someone, it's like you hit someone on the knuckle. If you punish someone, that's reprimand. And then you felt you wanted to give up on Adler.
Well, I mentioned that just to give you a clear example, Adler's ideas are certainly wonderful. They shake up your value system and make you feel like the cloudy skies overhead are clearing up, like your life has changed. They seem to be beyond reproach, a universal truth even. But the but the fact of the matter is that only place they hold water is right here in this study. Once you throw open the door and dive into the actual world, Adler's ideas are just too naive. The arguments they put forward are quite impractical and nothing but empty idealism. You have just been fabricating a world that suits your purpose here in this room and losing yourself in daydreams. You don't know a thing about the real world and the swarming masses of people who live in it.
I see. And then
An education in which one neither praises nor rebukes, an education that pauses autonomy and leaves students to fend for themselves, that's nothing other than a renunciation of one's professional duties as an educator. From now on, I'm going to face the children in a way that is different from Adler's. I don't care if it is right or not because I have no other choice. I will praise and I will rebuke. And naturally, I will have to mete out harsh punishments as well.
so let's examine. This is an it's a verb, espouse. You know, spouse, first say spouse and then say espouse. So you don't add an e before it, you add an s before it. Espouse. I wanted to bring this up. Adopt or support a cause, belief, or a way of life. The left was espoused the causes of sexual and racial equality. That's the word. So you see down there, they have given the espouser And they've also given the way it's pronounced in Latin.
Mhm.
Thank you, my dear youth. So let's to go on. Just to confirm, you're not going to quit working as an educator, are you?
Of course not. I will never give up on the path of being an educator because it is the path I have chosen. It is not an occupation, but a way of living.
It is most reassuring to hear that.
So you think this is just somebody else's problem? If I'm going to continue as an educator, I've got to give up on Adler's right here and now. If I don't, I'll be renouncing my responsibilities as an educator and abandoning my students. This is the proverbial blade to your throat. Well, what's your response?
First, allow me a correction. You used the word truth earlier, but I am not presenting Adler as an absolute immutable truth. One might say that what I am doing is giving a prescription for eyeglass lenses. I believe there are many people whose fields of vision have been broadened as a result of these lenses. On the other hand, there are probably those who say their vision has become even cloudier than before. I do not consider trying to force these lenses of Adler on such people.
Oh, so you run away from them?
No, let's look at it this way. No other form of thought is as easy to get wrong and as hard to get right as Adlerian psychology. The majority of those who say, I know Adler, misunderstand his teachings. They do not possess the courage to approach a true understanding, and they do not try to look directly at the landscape that spreads out beyond this way of thought.
So people misunderstand Adler.
That's right. If someone comes into contact with Adler's ideas and is immediately moved very deeply and says, life is easier now, the person is grossly misunderstanding Adler. Because when one truly understands what Adler is demanding of us, one is likely to be shocked by the severity.
So you're saying that I too misunderstand Adler?
Yes, from everything you have been telling me, it would seem so. You are certainly not alone in this. However, there are many Adlerians. Adlerians are people, practitioners of Adlerian psychology, who misunderstand him at the outset and then climb the stairway of understanding. It would seem that you've actually found the stairway that you should climb yet. I didn't find it right away either when I was young.
You had a period when you were lost too.
Yes, I did.
Then I want you to teach me. Where is this stairway to understanding or whatever it is? What do you mean by stairway anyway? Where did you find it?
I was fortunate because I was a house husband in the midst of raising a young child when I came to know Adler.
What do you mean?
Through my child, I learned Adler, and together with my child, I was able to practice and thus deepen my understanding and obtain positive proof of Adler.
So that's what I'm asking you to tell me. What did you learn? What is this positive proof you obtained?
I'll do a pause here and flashback productive failure. So, productive failure also starts with a correction when Dr. Manu Kapoor talks to his son, and he is the one who urges him to become what he is today. He talks about his wrong failure where he wanted to become a football player and he couldn't become, and he became what he is. So, life has already ordained a path for you. It's for you to find it. That's the reality. In a word, it was love.
What did you say?
You don't really need me to say it again, do you?
Haha, what a laugh. Love the thing that there is no need to speak of. You're saying that if I want to know the real Adler, I have to know about love.
You who can laugh at this word do not yet understand it. The love Adler speaks of is the harshest and most courage testing task of all.
Oh, please, you're just going to recite some preachy talk about neighborly love. I don't want to hear it.
Just now you started, sorry, just now you stated, not started, there's no R in that word. I correct myself. Just now you stated that you have reached a dead end in education and have a feeling of distrust for Adler. And then you are eager to tell me that you are denouncing Adler and that you don't want me to talk about him anymore. Why are you so upset? I suppose you felt that Adler's ideas are something like magic, as if you could just wave a wand and, without further ado, all your wishes would be granted. If that is the case, you should give up on Adler. You should give up the mistaken images of Adler that you have embraced and know the real Adler.
No, you're wrong. In the first place, I have never expected Adler to be magical or anything like that. And second, as I think you yourself once said, any person can be happy from this moment onwards.
Yes, I certainly did say that.
But aren't such words a perfect example of magic? You're warning people don't be fooled by that counterfeit money while pushing other counterfeit money. It's a classic swindler's trick.
Any person can be happy from this moment onward. This is an undeniable fact, not magic or anything of the sort. You and everyone else can take steps towards happiness, but happiness is not something one can enjoy by staying where one is. One has to keep walking along the path one is embarked on. It is necessary to be clear on this point. You took the first step. You took a big step. Now, however, not only have you lost courage and let your feet come to a halt, you are trying to turn back. Do you know why?
So you're saying I don't have patience.
No, you have not yet made the biggest choice in life, that's all.
The biggest choice in life? Why, what do I have to choose?
I said it earlier, it is love.
Ah, you expect me to get that. Please don't try to escape into abstraction.
I'm serious. The issues are now experiencing all stem from the single word love. The issue you have with education and also the issue of which life you should lead.
All right, this seems like something worth refuting. Now, before we get into a fully fleshed discussion, there's one thing I would like to say. There's no doubt in my mind that you are a modern day Socrates. However, it is not his thought that I am referring to, but his crime.
Is crime?
Look, apparently Socrates was sentenced to death on the suspicion of having tempted and corrupted the youth of ancient Greek city of Athens, right? He restrained his disciples who were appealing to him to escape from prison, and then drank a poison tea and took leave of this world. It's interesting, isn't it? If you ask me who you espouse, the ideas of elder here in this ancient capital are guilty of exactly the same crime. In other words, you are tempting and corrupting naive youth with deceitful words.
You are saying that you are taken in and corrupted by Adler?
That is precisely why I resolved to visit once more to part ways with you. I don't want to create any more victims. Philosophically speaking, I must snuff the life out of you.
Well, then it's going to be a long night.
But let's settle this tonight before daybreak. There's no need for me to keep calling on you after this. Will I climb the stairway of understanding, or will I tear down the stairway of yours and abandon Adler once and for all? It'll be one or the other. There's no in between.
All right, this may be our last dialogue. No, It seems we will have to make it our last, no matter what. I'm adding a bookmark here. I just want to break here, and I think we need to do more reflection in our second book than we did in our first book, because I think it's important for us not to just read, but it's important for us to reflect. And when you reflect and you see that, why do you go back to your teacher? That's my question to people here. Why do you feel like going back to your teacher? Anyone can unmute and speak. Think, why do you go back to your teacher? My youth is back to me after 3 years.
Remembering the great time we had together, the teaching and in the teaching and learning process. One is that. Secondly, as a, I think that is the main thing, and maybe for some other advice, some something that we might want to know. But here, the youth is going back to the teacher because he is disillusioned by the teachings of Adler, and he wants to clear up the disillusionment in a way, though he's saying he wants to do away with it, but he actually doesn't want to do that. He wants to clear up the disillusionment.
Thank you,
So what?
Minakshi. In lighter
What?
jest, I want to call that as a textbook answer, because you are a teacher and you have taught all your life. I want to call that as a textbook answer. Now, why do we go back to our teacher? We have Diana with us. Diana, thank you for bringing our new student. We are so happy to have Vishaka with us. So, Vishaka, namaste beta, आप कैसे हैं?
Introduce them.
Thank you, sir. Sir, my name is Vishakha Bish, and I'm from PYDS Learning Academy, and I'm in grade 6th A, and I am from Natwa Khan, which is located in Nainital district, and I used to read books like which are related in our past, and recently I have a book which is in Hindi, हमारा राष्ट्रीय ग्रंथ which is महाभारत,
Thank
and
you.
sir, which is written by Maharshi Vedvyas. Thank you,
बहुत
sir.
very nice. Welcome to the masterclass.
Thank you, sir.
You will find happiness. अब आप मेरा एक छोटे से सवाल का जवाब दो। आप
Yes.
टीचर के पास क्यों जाते हो? अभी मीनाक्षी ने भी जवाब दिया, मैं आपसे पूछता हूँ और सबसे पूछूंगा, आपको अपनी टीचर के पास जाने का दिल क्यों करता है?
Sir, like our teacher taught us any chapter, so and we don't know about this concept, so we can clear our doubts, and we can and I go for this reason, like for clearing our doubts, and we don't know about this, so we can clear our doubts from her.
Good. Khushi, why do you go back to a teacher?
So, good evening, everyone, and welcome Vishakha to the masterclass. And yes, as Vishakha said, that for the doubts, actually, we go to our teachers, and also when we feel like we are falling down and we are having some kind of downfall in something, we do go back to our teachers and seek some kind of knowledge that we need. We really need in our life right now for that thing.
Thank you. Kunal, why do you go back to your teacher? Oh, do you go back to your teacher? Let me ask you that way.
No, I recently went back to my teacher, so I think for doubts only we go back to our teacher.
Diana, over to you. These people are all doubtful. Why do you think a teacher attracts you, Diana?
I think we always go back to our teachers because we feel that they will never judge us, even if we ask 100 times. Um, and we have the trust that somehow they will answer to our queries and questions.
Yeah, good. I think that's exactly what we have experienced in this chapter. Okay, over to you, Sahar. Why do you go back to your teacher? Why do you think you're attracted to your teacher? I'm putting words
So
in the next
that
question.
one incident I want to share with you just now recently, when I was doing my 11th and 12th, there was one our accountancy teacher, Miss Dethe. And I don't know, like I was searching for her on Facebook, on Insta, but I could not find her on that. And I think 2, 3 months back, somehow I found her on Facebook through one of my friend, and I just messaged her that I am your student and now I'm on this post, and also maybe like uh, uh, just to tell her, see, um, you have taught me, and see today where I am. So really, I'm very much thankful to you, to show her also, see, I'm your student and now where I'm standing. So maybe to express my happiness or something like that.
Okay, Harshita, you had your hand up too high because I must have got tired. Yeah, over to you.
So here, with respect to the book, what I feel is that a student, the youth, after all, was a student of the philosopher at the end of the day in the first book, The Courage to be Disliked, where he was exposed to a new concept known as Adler's psychology. And he made a decision in his life of becoming a teacher after having a long conversation with those 5 nights with the philosopher. But when he actually went into the real world and implemented all those facts as an educator, he was somehow, I think he had this feeling of, disappointment somewhere inside him. And that's why this time he came back to the teacher to show that disappointment and resentment. And
Thank
he still wants his answers. That's
you.
why.
Manisha, you want to add something? Don't say come to my session tomorrow. Manisha, you want to add something? Why do you go back to your teacher? And I had the privilege of being called your teacher. Why do you come to me?
So basically, when we are at the same platform and we come to hear something, we keep drilling that when I was a student, what I have done and what more I can offer to my student. So that is why I come back to learn something new and to understand myself more clearly and visibly.
Okay. I think you people have not read the first book. It said very clearly forget etiology and forget teleology. If you remember in the last book, we talk of etiology and teleology. Etiology is when you use yesterday to give an answer, which is what you all are doing. And teleology is when you have an expectation and you expect an answer, which is all what you are doing. But why are you here this moment? Because you love your teacher. And that's what the chapter was all about. So you people miss the bullseye. It's only love that takes you to your teacher. Your teacher loved you. You love your teacher. You want to go back and feel that love. Love, unfortunately, in this world has become an abstract, physical, mumbo jumbo exhibitionism. That's not love. That's why you go back to the teacher because you love your teacher. You don't go back to your teacher. And at the moment you're making love to your teacher, I dare say it in those words, because you must understand how to use the word powerfully and effectively. You end up with a guru because you love him, as simple as that. That's the only thing which attracts you to your teacher, nothing else. Rest is all CBSC textbook answers which you people have given, understanding doubts. What? That's like going to a tuition teacher. You can go to a tuition teacher, but you won't go to your real teacher if you don't love the teacher. And that's how powerful this relationship is, the purest relationship in the world between two people, the love of a teacher. There is no purer love than the love of the teacher. And that's what Adler's basic philosophy is. Please understand that. Love thy moment, love thy teacher. And that's why you're here. So, on that note, today's masterclass takes a break. I'm so happy we did this, and I'm delighted to find a new youth to read the book with. I enjoyed my last journey with the last youth, and hopefully, this new youth is an avatar of that youth. And maybe someday the two youths meet and say कि ये डबल रोल है या नया रोल है या नया एक्टर आ गया. जब पुराना एक्टर हो जाता है तो जब फिल्म दोबारा आती है तो नया किरदार उसका रोल करने आता है. हमारे सेशन में कुछ ऐसा ही हुआ. घंटी बज रही है. नहीं, अभी 2 मिनट है. Just a warning. So sorry, I've just put these timers on to make me talk less. Otherwise, my Fathom tells me that you're doing a monologue. So please forgive me from getting pulled up from my AI agents for talking too much. Thank you, everyone. Khushi, we love you. Kunal, keep up your good work. Dinah, you have a beautiful smile. Seher, you really inspired all the teachers in your world. Minakshi, we look up to you for everything you do. Harshita, thank you for accepting my request to you for reading with me and taking time out. Thank you for the journey you took last month. You took that journey because you love your teacher. You wouldn't have taken that journey otherwise. You came all the way to Dehradun to meet us. It was just love. I had no answer which I could give you. Why you came and you shook hands with me, it was pure love. And we met after 10 years. Just a matter of record for everyone. Harshita is a student of the Fab India School, where I happen to serve. It's very much like the school my dear Diana runs, but the school is in Rajasthan. It's in a different geography. It's a different region altogether, but the way it works is like that. Yes, they have a big campus. They have about 12 acres of land, in which 7 acres is a forest, Diana. So they actually did a forest and then welcome children to the forest. That's the school. So I was invited in 2019 to Finland at the Helsinki Education Week to share the story of My Good School. And I called that school the My Good School. That's how that book came, My Good School. So whatever my learnings were in the journey from 2013 to 2018 have been distilled into that book. Very small book. Enjoy it. If you don't have a copy, please get one. It's called My Good School, where passion meets education. We'd always talk about books because that's what we are. Behind me, there are shelves full of books. I've read so many of them. I sometimes feel that I've not read enough. And I hope God gives me time to read some more. That's my only prayer to God every morning. I only read for half an hour a day. I don't read more than that because now the work which I do involves me much more. But the best part is the work also I do involves only reading, writing. So that gives me what I want. So I will have to write, then I have to read that also. That's reading. And that's an important part for a teacher. Please read what you write. Don't just write. Please read what you write. I keep saying that. So on that note, we will first stop share and then we will say, okay, thank you, Vishaka. You are a scholar, you are a star. I hope I was able to read to you.
Yes.
God bless you. Thank you, Dinah, for bringing in a scholar. And
Thank you, sir.
a step further, if you can influence a teacher to join us, you will bear the scholarship for that also.
Yes, sir. That's my next week project.
Happy to find a teacher to be, and it's essential to do these dialogues and making together. I think it is essential. It goes into the making of a good teacher. I'm sure people who have been with us now for over a year in our sessions, and likewise on Saturdays, I'm now doing two Dinah. I've taken on some more work on Saturday that I do the afternoon session, which is called Learning Forward Saturday. And you'll have the recording for that. Please feel free to share with whomever you want. All our work is Creative Commons, open source, open to all. Thank you, all of you. So we were the 10
Thank you.
on 10 team today. Thank you. Bye bye. We love you loads. That's the way we end this session.
Thank you, sir. Jai Hind.